Hi guys, it's Ray here from Man City Fan TV. Here's the Watford video preview. I'm talking to a big Watford fan called Graham Clews, who's a broadcaster and a journalist out in Abu Dhabi, of all places. But he still keeps watching his Watford games and keeps a big interest in the club. And as our usual format is, we're going to fire each other some questions back and forth and give our answers. Right, Graham's first question. Watching Man City week in, week out, do the fans feel there's anything about City that's still a weakness? Well, to be honest, I think if teams sit back, we've said this from last season as well, if teams sit back and try to hit us on the counter-attack and scrape a win like that, they're going to get beaten. We saw Bournemouth giving a little bit of a go at the weekend. They got a goal. You got a chance. I think the three weaknesses I can really see at the moment is, number one, you've got to give it a go. Teams that sit back and put five at the back and park the bus, whatever, eventually they're going to concede. I think that's generally what's going to happen. We're going to score. We've got too much creativity up front. We're going to score a goal. So first thing is go for it. At least have some decent attacking intent. Don't just play with one up front and everybody way off him. It's not going to cut it unless you're very lucky. Another thing right now, if we keep playing Zinchenko, is he's not a left back. For as long as Mendy's out and we keep playing Zinchenko, there's a weakness there. You just feel while watching him, he's not as aware of where his winger is at times. Positionally or spatially, he's not a left back. He's great in midfield when he moves inside. It's very good over there. And he's got some great passes, long range, diagonal passes out to the right winger. Fantastic, but he's not a left back. And we saw against Bournemouth, he actually went, just as the ball was being played, I think, to the winger, he took a step or two back rather than going forward to the winger. So whether that was just unlucky, but he made a bad choice of a bad decision. And by the time they got the cross, and he was too late to try and block it. There was another occasion in the first half where he was weak and wasn't really aware what was, I think it was a short corner, and they got down to the byline partly because he wasn't really aware of what to do. It's not his position. So that's a weakness. And I think a third place that we've noticed, it can be a bit of a weakness, is when Gundogan plays, Fernandinho plays, and David Silva play. They all play together. I don't think they're the fastest of players, and they're certainly not the biggest and strongest of players. And we can slow down a little bit in midfield when that happens, and we do appear a bit stodgy and stale, and as I said, slow. And teams with bright attacking players, fast and strong in the midfield, like Lyon would have, can take advantage of City there in the midfield. So those are the three weaknesses that I think some of the fans can see right now.
Hello, I'm Graham Clews, and this is the Dubai TV News Centre, where we do the English language news every night of the week. I do the sport, but more importantly, I'm a lifelong Watford fan. I'm going to answer the questions about the upcoming match, easy match, against Manchester City. Okay, question one. You started the season on fire, but lately you've only got 1 point out of 4 games. What's gone wrong? I would say nothing's really gone wrong. We're now playing like Watford probably were always going to play. I would say that we started so well this season that it's been extremely difficult to keep that going. We are only Watford after all. There were talk after 2 games that we played that it was going to be, we were going to do a Leicester and that kind of thing. It was ridiculous. I think all Watford fans knew that was ridiculous. We just started really well. We just had a lot of confidence. We have a lot of players who, traditionally for Watford, we start a season really well, and we just did that. Now, unfortunately, our average play means that we don't do very well. When we play well, you know, we get points, we win matches, but when we play averagely, we don't get anything anymore. Unlike Man City, you know, when you play average, you still win a match, but we don't do that. So we're not that worried about it. It's just the state of play when you're main goal is just staying in the Premier League and get to 40 points. That's all we need really, and that's what we're hoping for. It's obviously disappointing when you're not getting the results that you think you're capable of, but it's not the end of the world. When no one's in crisis, just haven't got many points lately.
Right, Graham's second question. Knowing football goes in cycles, are Man City fans just enjoying it while it lasts, knowing that a dip eventually has to come, even if it's many years away? Quite honestly, I think most of us are definitely enjoying it. We've been through some really tough times, some dark places, going down one or two divisions and then fighting our way back and struggling financially. I think before Sheikh Mansour came, I think City were in dire straits financially at the time, very close to administration. And we struggle on the pitch as well, with our near neighbours over in Trafford. So it's great now. It's great to have the boot on the other foot, so to speak. But I think a lot of City fans, we keep our feet on the ground. We know it's going to turn against us at some point. We've got to enjoy it while it lasts. And I tell fans, if you can, wherever you are in the world, come to Manchester. If you're a City fan, especially overseas, save up your money, come to Manchester to watch absolutely fantastic footballers play absolutely wonderful football under the best manager in the world, and probably he'll go down as one of the all-time greats in Pep Guardiola. I think City fans, as I said, they are grounded because we appreciate good football regardless of the opponent. And in our dark times, when teams would come to City and give us a good old pasting, we'd appreciate their football. A friend of mine on Twitter, Cornish Blue, talks about the time he did a 650-mile round trip to Manchester because obviously he was living, he's an exiled Manc, and he came all the way up to Manchester to watch Arsenal play. He said he had to pick and choose his games, and he picked that game because Arsenal were a wonderful footballing team. And I think they beat us 5-1 on that day, and the City fans applauded them up because we appreciate good football. Doesn't matter who plays it, obviously we're hoping it's us. So the good times, there'll be a dip. It's inevitable. When Pep leaves, hopefully not for many years. Hopefully he'll extend his contract again. But when he moves on, we've seen what happens at other clubs. We've seen a little dip at Arsenal, a massive dip at Man United. There'll be a dip with any club that's had a manager for several years. That's created something special, and that's going to inevitably happen when Pep moves on. So we're a bit guarded, but enjoy it while it lasts. And as I said, come and enjoy wonderful football at the Etihad Stadium.
Question 2 is about the manager, and he's just signed a new contract, and we've had a bit of a revolving door, as you put it, in Watford in recent years. But will our new manager, Will Xavi, will he stay? Well, my feeling about all contracts in sport is they're a bit more about how they are seen than what's actually written in the paper. A contract can be bought out, it can be terminated, it can be extended at any point. I don't really feel like it keeps him to Vicarage Road any longer than he was always going to be with us. If he gets a really bad run of results, his contract will be terminated. If things go well, he's going to be asked to stay. So recent times at Vicarage Road, we have had a lot of managers, but the Pozzos who own Watford were quite honest about the fact that the managers we've had along the way, Flores and Mazzari, they've got us to a certain point, and then they felt that to get us to the next stage, we needed a different manager. Marco Silva, we thought, was going to be the one who took us really, comfortably into the top half of the Premier League, but he turned out to not be the man that we thought he was. And I tell you what, we are certainly looking forward to Everton coming to Vicarage Road this season. But in terms of the manager, I think he'll stick around. I don't, like I say, I don't really see signing a contract as anything more than, a bit of advertising for the club. Everybody likes the little photo where they're signing the contract. There's a bit of social media, but it doesn't really mean anything. If results go badly, he'll be out the door. If he keeps going well, he'll stick around. It's really not a big thing for me, the contract.
Graham's third question. Does facing a team like Watford leave you a little bit more edgy? Because it's teams like Watford that can unexpectedly derail big clubs' ambitions. Watford are a decent side. I mean, they started the season off well. I think was it 5 wins on the bounce, I think they lost a couple after that, and then won a couple, and probably struggled a little bit in terms of points in the last 4 games. But do I feel edgy? I'm worried a little. I mean, you've got to be worried going down to a decent side away from home 2 or 3 days after our previous game. You are worried a little bit. But I think the way City are playing, obviously, we expect to win. That's not meant in an arrogant way. I just think the quality of City right now, you can see it shining through. And even when we're not playing in, even when we're not getting out of second or third gear, we're still a very, very good quality team. So I think, fortunately, we've had a chance to rest a few players against Bournemouth. Sergio Aguero didn't play. David Silva only had 10 or 15 minutes. Kyle Walker didn't play. Delph only came on late on. And so, we've had that opportunity to rest players, important key players who I think will make a difference against Watford. I think David Silva with Leroy Sane and hopefully Delph at left back, that's going to be incredible. And the triangles and the short passing, quick short passes. And I think if David Silva's playing with Sane, time and time again, we'll get behind Watford and cut the ball back in for our strikers and midfielders to come through. And on the right, I see Raheem Sterling with hopefully Kyle Walker's back and Bernardo Silva's playing. Those triangles, it's going to be amazing. So whilst I'm wary of Watford, I'm also conscious that City have got so much quality. It's a usual thing. City are going to have to play quite poorly, and Watford are going to have to play out of their skins for Watford to get anything from this game.
Next question, who are your best players and do you think they could be tempted away in January? Well, I'd say our best players by quite a long chalk are Pereira and Deulofeu, who attacking players but spend a lot of their time out wide as well. Very creative. Pereira's been really off the boil in the last 3 or 4 matches. Deulofeu has been a bit frustrated as well that he keeps getting substituted. I wish he'd stay on for the whole 90 minutes every time he plays, but the manager obviously has other ideas and other plans for him. I think those two are the ones that will be looked at by any club more than anyone else. Either of them go and it is a real blow to Watford at the moment. Apparently Abdoulaye Doucouré has been rumoured to be leaving us for about a year already. I think January we seem to get the impression that he is going somewhere, and a deal was already done in the summer, but he's staying until January for whatever reason, I don't know. He'll be a loss, but we've got Chalobah. If we can keep him fit, he'll take that place. Capoue, 1 out of every 2 games he's fantastic, and the other 1 out of 2 games he's as frustrating as ever. I don't think he'll go anywhere. And our strikers, success, Andre Gray and Troy Deeney, no one's really beating the door down to take them away at the moment because they're just not scoring goals for us. So I think out of anyone it's going to be Deulofeu and Pereira who really are our exciting players. Deulofeu especially, if you watch him, if you're going to the match, watch him, because I don't want to say it out loud, but he's a real Man City type of player. He's very creative, he's very quick, and I could see him playing for Man City quite easily. He's a fantastic player. We'll be lucky to hold on to him.
Graham's 4th question. As a non-Man City fan, I still find watching City an utter joy. Is it possible to take a step back and admire the skill impartially at the Etihad? It's difficult. We're fans. It's very difficult, Graham. Not to really get into the team and the atmosphere in the moment. But I think you can see it. You can see the skill. You can see the way we're playing, and it is wonderful football. It's the most glorious football I've ever seen in my life, in real life, apart from let's say Barcelona. But this City team is incredible, and it is pure joy for the fans. And credit to you as an objective football fan, so to speak, for enjoying the football City are playing. It's not going to be here forever. Things will change in a few years' time when Pep's gone, but hopefully not too much, and we can keep enjoying this style of football for as long as I live.
Most clubs play City with damage limitation on their minds. Will Watford go for it, or will we try not to lose? This season we've been a real attacking force. When we've had success, it's when we've been going for it. I don't think there's any reason to change that against Manchester City. There's nothing to lose really when you play City, because nobody expects you to win. So you can just have a go, can't you? I mean, if you get a goal or two, that's a nice little bonus. Nobody expects you to get any points from playing Man City, so it kind of suits a team like Watford that we are a counter-attacking team. We obviously know that we're not going to have much of the possession, but you'll be sort of moving around our box trying to find a way through our defence, and if we can just nick the ball off you, that'll be when we go for it and try and get one down the other end. But I don't think there'll be any thinking these days in Watford's mind of playing for damage limitation, because it just doesn't get you anywhere. You know, do you want to lose by 1 goal or lose by 6? It's still a loss. Nobody expects you to beat Man City, so I think it'll be a full-on go for it. They won't give up, Watford, right till the last minute. Even if there's a couple of goals deficit, they will not give up. You know, we've had a couple of results the last few seasons where we've got 1, if not 2, very late goals to get us points. So we won't give up, that's the thing. And we will go for it. The chances of it making any difference to the result are slim, but we will go for it.
And Graham's final question is, I live in the city where Manchester City's owners live, and the number of sky blue shirts is increasing every season. I don't think he'll ever pull the plug, but is that something that worries you and crosses your mind? To be quite honest, after 10 years, I think we've generally got the picture. There were a lot of jibes in the early days that Sheikh Mansour would get bored, you know, he'd sell up and we'd plummet and we'd go bankrupt and we'd plummet down the divisions and all sorts of horror stories like that. But in all honesty, we saw after 2 or 3 years what the Abu Dhabi United group and Sheikh Mansour and Khaldun Al Mubarak were all about. We saw the start of the development of things like the City Football Group, where Manchester City are right at the centre of a global football brand, a global football enterprise with teams all over the world in different continents and different countries. We've seen, the CFA, the City Football Academy, where the kids train, the academy players train, and the women's team, the development in the women's team, they really mean business. We've seen the developments all around East Manchester, where Manchester City have been involved, in sporting projects, in medical, I think they're involved with now. All sorts of things going on in the city of Manchester because of our owners. It's an absolutely fantastic thing for them to do. We do realise as well that the reason they've got City primarily is as a PR exercise. We're a great team playing great football, and it brands Abu Dhabi. People do get branded by association. Abu Dhabi can be seen in a better light because of Manchester City and the football that we're playing and the manager that we've got and the players we've got. But also, there's you can understand the investment angle as well, because they've invested a lot of money, but the club is worth so much money as well. So if Sheikh Mansour was to walk away right now, the club would carry on. There wouldn't be any major issues, because we've got such sponsorship from other sources. There's so much money coming in from Sky and BT and from the Champions League. And the commercial income, that if our owners walked away and sold the club, we'd just carry on, because whoever bought the club would have to have very, very deep pockets indeed, and they'd carry on the investment if needs be. So as fans now, we see the Abu Dhabi owners here for the long term, and I think that's definitely the case. And we don't worry about them leaving, knowing full well it's very unlikely. And if they do, we're quite safe financially, and we've got so much money coming in now, we don't need their support.
Lastly, the score prediction for the match. Will it be 4? Will it be 5? Will it be 6? I don't know. It'll be a miracle to come away with some points playing Man City this season. It would be a miracle. We are the type of team, however, that could cause that upset, could be that loss that you never expected to happen. I think Man City at the moment, you know, you're all geared up for the big games, you know, against your title rivals, you know, Liverpool obviously. Playing Watford, it probably hasn't been in the plans and in the thinking too much at the Etihad Stadium, so we could come as a bit of a surprise. If we get some early confidence going in the match, we could do well. I think Man City will... Oh, the lights have just come on. I think Man City will obviously have the talent to outdo us. Cool, blimey. It's like Star Wars in here. Let's go for a final score of 3-1 to Manchester City. I think we're going to get a goal. I think we'll get a goal just to make things, you know, a bit more entertaining for us. But, yeah, 3-1, cross fingers.
I'd like to give a big thank you to Graham Clews for taking the time to make this video with us, and we hope it's a great game. I'll give you my score prediction as well finally. I think City will win 2-0. Thanks very much to the guys who've subscribed to our channel. If you haven't already done so, really easy, just click on the red button below and you'll be subscribed. If you can click on the bell icon as well, you'll be notified as soon as we put new videos out. See you around, Blues.